This engine is powered by air, the air that we all breathe. The interesting thing is that none of the parts are 3D printed. Of course, because I don't have 3D printer. A crankshaft converts fore and back motion into rotational motion. So to get that crankshaft, I am stealing my grandma's old sewing machine. This stolen machine provides me both parts, a crankshaft and the piston rod. Because the crankshaft is too long, so I cut it and then put it on the lathe and shave the excess material so that this 308 bearing could easily fit on it. Then I make a hole in the wooden piece so that I can press fit the bearing in it. So on, I assemble the crank on the wooden board. Then I cut the tip of the screw to prevent the wood from cracking. The only useful thing that's I learned from 5-minute craft. Just kidding. Thankfully, the crank is balanced. So to make the flywheel, I basically mix up the cement and fill the cement in a rounded cardboard mold and shake the mold to prevent any excess bubbles. Once the cement gets hard, I remove the flywheel and notice it was unbalanced. So I balance it out on the lathe machine. After balancing, I press fit the flywheel on the crank. To make the piston, I am using this syringe. Now you might think, how can a syringe work as a piston when it has a lot of friction? Well, the answer lies in this 4-stroke lubricant. By applying it, the friction is reduced, making it work smoothly. Without friction. Then I cut the piston and shape the crank into a needle-like form. To attach the piston to the crank, I am using this wire connector. I adjust the needle and press fit the connector onto the crank and add some super glue for extra strength. After cutting the piston and making a hole in it, I attach it to the crank. In this way, I can also remove the piston in future for any further improvement. So now the piston is free to move along the crank. Then I screw down a support on the wood and glue down the piston on the support. After gluing the piston onto the support, I assemble the crank onto the engine. When I rotate the flywheel, I notice a lot of friction. I try to lubricate the engine, but the friction is still there. The issue is with the piston. It has too much surface area in contact, causing the resistance. This piston has 2 rings to prevent leak, so I cut the lower ring using a cutter and gave it a try. This time, a lot of friction was reduced. But there's another problem. The piston is creating too much compression, making the flywheel hard to rotate. To fix this, I tried increasing the blank area in the piston by moving it forward, but still did not work. So I replaced it with the slightly longer piston, and this time the compression was perfect, allowing the flywheel to rotate smoothly. The good thing is that the piston is completely leak proof. To make intake valve, I use a valve which is used in bike or car tire, which open when pressure is applied to its pin. Then I disassemble the valve and grind the nozzle to make the valve pin more visible. This way, when the piston strikes the pin, the valve opens, allowing the compressed air to flow into the cylinder. Then I cut off the excess material, made a hole in the cylinder head and placed the valve inside. I adjust the position so that the piston would hit the valve pin and open it. Then I glued it in place. However, after gluing, the valve shifted slightly and the piston is no longer touching it. To fix this, I use a bolt that could be glued onto the head, allowing me to fine tune the valve position so it perfectly hits the piston. Now I need to make exhaust hole right where the piston reaches its lowest position. Here's how the engine works. The piston moves forward, pushing the pin to open the valve, allowing the air to enter the cylinder, which then push the piston backward. Now let's compress some air into the cylinder using the pump, feed it to the engine and give it a try. I rotate the flywheel multiple times, but the engine would not start. This was due to excessive leakage in the thread of the valve nozzle. To fix this, I glued the thread of the nozzle to prevent the leak, also remove the valve spring to reduce friction. After feeding air into the engine again, I gave it another try. But the cylinder was still leaking from the same spot, the threads. So I applied super glue to the thread to make it leak proof and gave it another attempt. And surprisingly, this time the engine ran. I know the flywheel is visibly unbalanced, but my grandpa always says, don't interrupt something that is already working. Yes, the RPM is slightly low, but thankfully it starts. Due to the low RPM, I adjust the valve timing to increase it, and this is the result after the adjustment. It actually sounds amazing. But here's the problem with the engine. When we apply high pressure, it stops. This happens because the rubber on the piston is flexible and can't open the valve at high pressure. Additionally, the exhaust holes are positioned incorrectly, causing the air to escape too soon before the piston reaches its end point. Removing the valve spring was also a mistake, as the spring helps to make the system completely leak-proof. Since this video is getting too long, I will be addressing all these issues in part 2. If you have any suggestion for the next video, feel free to leave them in the comment. Until take care and I will see you in my next video.